Are you a biotech innovator, researcher, or startup exploring the vast potential of peptides? If so, ignoring the intricacies of experimental peptide regulation isn't just a risk, it's a direct threat to your groundbreaking work. Missing crucial compliance insights can derail years of discovery and investment. I'm Anya Sharma, a regulatory bio-scribe, and today we'll demystify the complex law of the lab surrounding experimental peptides. We'll ensure your innovation doesn't get lost in translation.
Experimental peptide regulation is crucial. Clarity struggles to keep pace with growing research interest. Short amino acid chains attract attention for potential applications within research environments and studies. Widespread access pushes this regulation into uncertain legal territory, affecting various stakeholders. Peptides often appear labeled for research use only. This phrase carries significant legal weight. Misunderstanding or ignoring it creates real compliance risks for researchers, startups, and vendors. We must examine how experimental peptide regulation actually works to grasp its full complexity. Regulation clearly distinguishes between approved compounds and those exclusively for research. Agencies require strict approval processes for any compound marketed for specific research applications. This process evaluates safety, effectiveness, manufacturing standards, and clinical outcomes for approved uses. In contrast, research use-only peptides exist solely for laboratory investigations. They support in vitro studies. Regulation permits their sale, assuming researchers will not administer them. This distinction is critical. This distinction matters because research products lack the same manufacturing controls. They may lack GMP. Once these compounds leave controlled research environments, experimental peptide regulation becomes compromised. This is where the gray market emerges. Regulation enforcement primarily occurs through marketing claims. The FDA focuses less on the compound, more on claims made about its research effects, implying research peptides support wellness or performance triggers enforcement. Subtle language crosses lines. Under regulation, intent matters as much as action. This guides enforcement activities.
The FDA has issued multiple warning letters, clearly stating research use only does not mean consumer availability. Businesses ignoring this face severe consequences, from product seizures to criminal charges. This highlights the critical need for vigilance. Before we delve deeper into the risks of the gray market and the strategic advantages of compliance, make sure to follow Peptides.today and me, Anya Sharma, for the latest regulatory insights.
The gray market thrives where experimental peptide regulation weakens. Oversight is minimal there. Online vendors sell research-grade peptides with minimal oversight. Buyers often assume purity. Without regulatory controls, purity levels vary. Labels may not match. Dosages are inconsistent. Contamination risks increase. Experimental peptide regulation exists to prevent exactly these outcomes. In research settings, scientists manage uncertainty through controlled environments and ethical oversight. In the gray market, those safeguards disappear. This creates unknown biological effects. Interest in experimental peptides often intersects with performance culture narratives in research discussions. Researchers explore peptide effects in preclinical models to understand biological pathways. Regulation draws a hard boundary between observation and application. Preclinical findings don't translate. Without controlled studies, long-term effects remain unknown. Compound interactions are also unclear. Proper dosing also remains unverified. Bypassing regulation introduces unnecessary research risks. Experimental peptide regulation impacts liability for researchers and startups. Compliance is foundational. Most insurance policies may exclude coverage for experimental or non-approved research substances. For startups, liability escalates quickly. Courts examine adherence. Non-compliance strengthens negligence claims. Responsible innovation depends on respecting regulation. Researchers follow ethical standards and protocols. Startups must commit to proper development pathways, including preclinical testing and controlled manufacturing. While the process is slow, it protects both scientific integrity and future discovery applications.
Some view regulation as an obstacle, but it's a strategic advantage. Companies following pathways build credibility, attract investment, and reduce risk. Long-term success belongs to those who respect this framework. Follow me, Anya Sharma, and Peptides.today for continuous updates. Before we sign off, a quick legal disclaimer. This podcast is for informational purposes only and is not medical advice. All compounds discussed are for research use only and not for human consumption. Always consult a licensed healthcare provider for medical needs and treatment.